Okay, good morning, and we are in the first part. The family is central to the Creator's plan. The family, a proclamation to the world, is clearly about families, but equally about the about God's plan of salvation. One way to study the proclamation is to write the phrases premortal, mortal, and postmortal life, which we'll do um, tomorrow. What I want to do um, is talk about something else that there's we're dedicating a whole week to this, and I think it's important that we use that time. So we're going to go to the family, the proclamation to the world, and many people have this in their house. The family, a proclamation to the world, the first presidency and the council of the 12 apostles of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. We, the first presidency and council of the 12 apostles of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, solemnly proclaim that marriage between a man and a woman is ordained of God, and that the family is central to the Creator's plan for the eternal destiny of His children. All human beings, male and female, are created in the image of God. Each is a beloved spirit, son, or daughter of heavenly parents, and as such has divine nature and destiny. I'm not going to read the whole thing there. I wanted to stop there for a purpose. Um, and I wanted to put this in the notes, but I wasn't able to at the time of this recording. But in a speech from Brigham Young, um, when I was at Brigham Young, um, a speech was given by uh, President Jeffrey R. Holland, who is my um, university president at the time. And he spoke about who we are and what God expects of us. And one of the things that really stood out in my mind, as I remember it quite clearly to this day, um, is um, this quote. Um, said Brigham Young, Heber C. Kimball, and Willard Richards, the first presidency. So this was again from the first presidency, and was given in the Millennial Star in 1852. If men, and we may add women, would be great in goodness, they must be intelligent, for no man can do good unless he knows how. Therefore seek after knowledge, all knowledge, and especially that which is above, which is wisdom, to direct in all things. And if you find anything that God does not know, you need not know that thing, but strive to know what God knows, and use the knowledge as God uses it, and then you will be like Him. You will have charity, love for one another, and do each other good continually forever. But if a man have all knowledge and does not use it for good, it will prove a curse instead of a blessing, as it did Lucifer, the son of the morning. How does that tie in with this? Well, first of all, it was the first presidency again, and I'm sure it was accepted by the 12 apostles at the time as well. Seeing where it was that it was written in the Millennial Star, but that's not the point. The point is, when I first read that, I was in academia and saw this as an academic thing If you find anything that God does not know, ye need not learn that thing. And I always thought, well, as academics, we often wonder if the pearly gates swing or slide shut, and all these other things that just seem to be um, things maybe God doesn't know and we know. But how it ties in with this is this was given in 1995, and the things it talks on and how it talks about families so strongly. We solemnly proclaim that marriage between man and woman is ordained of God, and that the family is central to the Creator's plan. Is what God knows. We should seek that out. We should seek to understand that. I have never, over time, I have started to understand that um, passage given by Jeffrey R. Holland, given by Brigham Young in 1852, to really mean something for today. Um, there's so many people who think that God does not understand or know them because they have a different idea about what gender is, or they have a different idea about what their life is, or whatever. If God does not know that, then you don't need to know it either. And I've tried to live by this. I'm not perfect. We often start thinking, oh, well, I can do whatever. But the truth is, we live closer to this and we will become more like God. We I used to think it was all about academia. It's not. It's about our human existence, about the plan of salvation, the Creator's plan, the eternal destiny, our eternal destiny of all of His children. As we've gone through the Doctrine and Covenants, one thing I've started to recognize is how many times He says all of His children. He wants all of His children to come back, but He also wants them to become like Him. And the only way He can do that is if they live the way that He lives and understand the things that He understands, as it says in that quote that Jeffrey R. Holland gave. I have around my neck. I keep it on a little string. Is a piece of metal or rock that is about the size of a large um, raisin, I guess. And it reminds me of a time, some things that I learned a long time ago when I was younger, that all the knowledge that I have right now in my life is about that size next to the whole world. So if I threw it, it'd disappear. If I threw it like in on a beach or something, it'd disappear in the sand and you wouldn't see it. If I threw it in um outside in my garden, I probably it'd disappear. Let's picture what we understand and what we know next to what God understands and knows as that small bit. I often try to remember that when I do things, that if I don't understand something completely, God does. And I think we should understand it more ourselves. These people, these first presidency and the Council of the 12, wanted to know what God wanted them to do about these things. And they spent over a year collecting things to write this, and a lot longer in practice, centuries or decades in practice, um, to get this um, proclamation. And some people will decide not to follow it, but in the next few days, I hope we can see the brilliance of what they've written and the wonderful plan, the Creator's plan, and remember that our knowledge next to God's is so, so small. And I also put it to you that when it talks about us being in the image of God and that we can be like them in the future, our growth. Remember, Jesus said um, uh, that we should become um, perfect, even as He and His Father are perfect. But I think that's going to take a long time for most of us um, outside of this life. I don't think anybody in life achieves being perfect as Jesus is. Um, I think that's an important point to have, that the Creator's plan is our eternal destiny and that we can work on it day by day, even if it's only incremental, and never think that you're so far gone that you can't be reached. And I hope you're getting a lot from this, um, and understand that these things were written so that we can know what God wants us to know. And I believe strongly that this proclamation to the world is exactly that, what God wants us to know today. And that's why we're studying it this week. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope you have something that you can ponder today from the things that I've said, and we'll do more the next few days. Um, and we'll see you tomorrow.